Hello everybody, welcome back to Digital Futures Education. Today I want to go over a quick way to help you evaluate an EdTech app for data privacy. The method I'm going to go over is called the CLEAR framework, C-L-E-A-R, with each letter representing a step you should take or at least consider when reviewing an EdTech app for data privacy. And reviewing an app for privacy can be a time-consuming. It can sometimes be easy to get lost in the mix of what's important, what you need to think about. With the CLEAR framework, this is a simple way to help review an application and take it to the next level of whether you should be using it or not in the classroom. It's also a way of quickly reviewing an app in general to better understand its privacy policy and its privacy practices within the company. So what the CLEAR framework helps you do is quickly and easily address several key important factors in privacy of an application. The first step in the CLEAR framework is collects data. The C stands for collects data. What data does this application collect? Does it collect data? Does it collect an email address? Does it collect a name? Sometimes an application can be used, a web-based application doesn't collect much data at all. It's maybe cookies or site data, but it doesn't require a login. So the first thing you want to do is identify what type of login, what type of data is collected initially off the application. If you decide to use the application, collecting data becomes even an additional topic, because what type of data are you inputting into the application? Are you speaking into the application? Are you typing into the application? Are you giving biometric data to the application? You just want to think about what are your inputs into the application and what type of data does this type of application collect. And that should be in the privacy policy of the application. So on the step of the CLEAR, you want to make sure that if you are using an email address, that you do have a data privacy policy in place as you are sharing PII, personally identifiable information. If you are not inputting an email address or identifiable information, there still can be risks. They're just not as great. Now let's talk about the L in the CLEAR framework. The L in the CLEAR framework is login required. So with login required, it's an extension past the collecting the data. So if there is a login required, that login is then going to set off is going to then initiate a few additional questions. Some of those questions are going to be, is there SSO? Is there a sync in place? What type of data? How does this login tie to the data that it collects? Essentially, it's an extension off the collection of the data and the identity of the person. That next big step of the login required is an important one, because as I said before, it's going to help you identify whether or not you really need that data privacy policy in place right away. And of course, if there is a login required, you're going to want that you're going to want that DPA or that data privacy policy in place. You're going to want that data privacy agreement in place. Now in the CLEAR framework, I want to talk about the letter E. Does the app share data externally of the app? And this should also be included in the privacy policy, and you're going to find applications that share data with other applications. And it may be to help the function of the application. It may be to sync to another application for the sake of data or other purposes of the application. But sometimes there is some unnecessary external sharing. It could be a public-facing page that the company has. Basically, whenever you export something, it can be publicly facing. You just want to make sure that if there is sharing of any data externally of the site, you're aware of what that is and how that works. The next step in the CLEAR framework is the letter A, agreements and policies. With agreements and policies, we're making sure that the application, we're going to take a look and see if this application has signed any data privacy agreements. Have they put on their website a very strong privacy policy which supports all the things that you believe in with privacy sharing? You want to read that privacy policy carefully about how it's sharing data and what specific details it includes in its privacy policy. And we're also going to try to find out if there's an existing data privacy policy. Is it going to help support how you're does it embody what you believe to be important around data privacy? And this is going to become more complicated as AI and other technologies are integrated with EdTech tools. Data privacy is going to have a lot of moving parts in terms of types of data collected, in terms of how that data is shared. So it's very important to review policies that exist around the application that it's either assigned or agreed with, and whether or not these fit what you really need them to do. The final step in the CLEAR framework is for reviewed or approved. So at this step, you want to finalize a data privacy agreement with this application in order to use it appropriately in education or in any environment in which the data is important. You want to make sure that if they have an existing data privacy agreement in your state, you're aware of it. Instead